Have you ever noticed that some families don't repeat the exact same mistakes? They repeat the same pain in different forms. One generation struggles with fear, the next struggles with control, another with conflict. The faces change, but the wound seems strangely familiar. What if Scripture has been showing us this pattern all along? In my book, The Mountain, the Mother, and the Wound, I explore what I call the generational mutation of trauma. This is not a biblical doctrine that trauma is automatically inherited, but a theological framework for understanding how unresolved pain can shape family relationships across generations if it is never acknowledged or healed. We see this possibility unfold throughout the family of Abraham. The story begins in Genesis 22. Abraham and Isaac ascend Mount Moriah, where Abraham is commanded to offer his son. The Hebrew word Moriah is often associated with God's choosing and his revelation. God provides a ram, and Isaac is physically spared. Scripture celebrates God's provision, but it never tells us what emotional conversations took place afterward. Soon after, Genesis 23 records Sarah's death. The Bible does not say her death was caused by Moriah, and we must not claim what Scripture does not say. Yet it does invite us to notice the sequence of events and ask thoughtful questions about the emotional cost this family carried. By the time we reach Isaac and Rebekah, the family dynamic has shifted. There is no mountain, no altar, and no knife. Instead, we see emotional distance, silence, and passivity. Isaac avoids confrontation while Rebekah resorts to manipulation. Their marriage becomes divided, and their sons are drawn into competition rather than covenant. The outward crisis has become an inward fracture. Sometimes the next generation does not inherit the event itself. They inherit the atmosphere created by unresolved pain. The pattern continues with Jacob and Esau. Favoritism divides the household. One parent favors Jacob, the other favors Esau. Deception, once used to protect, now tears relationships apart. The wound has changed form again. Fear has become division. Silence has become family fracture. Then Joseph enters the story. Joseph experiences betrayal, abandonment, slavery, false accusation, and imprisonment. His suffering is undeniable. Yet when he finally confronts his brothers in Genesis 50:20, he says, "Ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good." Notice what Joseph does. He does not deny the evil. He names it. He acknowledges the intent behind it. At the same time, he refuses to let that evil define his future. Joseph becomes a picture of redemptive healing. He chooses forgiveness without pretending the wound never existed. One of the central ideas in The Mountain, the Mother, and the Wound is that healing begins when someone is willing to tell the truth about pain without allowing it to dictate the future. God's goal is not merely to deliver us from crisis, but to restore us so completely that we no longer pass our wounds on to those we love. So let me leave you with a few questions. What mountain did you survive but never emotionally leave? What family pattern have you accepted as normal that God may be inviting you to examine? And what would it look like for your children and grandchildren to inherit your healing instead of your hidden pain? The good news of the gospel is that Jesus Christ is the ultimate cycle breaker. Through him, we are not condemned to repeat the past. His grace enables us to confront what has been hidden, heal what has been wounded, and build a legacy marked by truth, mercy, and restoration. Someone in every family has the opportunity to say, the trauma stops here, not through human strength alone, but through the transforming power of Christ. If today's teaching encouraged you, this is just one insight from my book, The Mountain, the Mother, and the Wound. Inside my teaching vault, you'll find the complete book, prophetic Bible studies, companion study guides, journals, discussion questions, presentation slides, and additional teaching resources designed for personal study, small groups, and ministry leaders. Visit payhip.com/Dr. Delisa Rodgers to explore the teaching vault. If this lesson blessed you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs encouragement. Until next time, remember, God doesn't simply bring us through the mountain. He heals the wound, honors the story, and prepares us for the promise.